on. All right. So Catrina, almost exactly the same thing about the introduction that I said earlier. You've got a good topic, you've got a very clear thesis statement, there's a good preview that's coming up, and you start just by telling us what the topic is. And there's so many things that you could use as an attention device that would be so much more interesting and pull us in a little bit more effectively. I'm a little frustrated because I noticed several people have done this so far. Your thesis statement, that specific purpose statement, that should come in the introduction. It should not be your attention device. So I'm going to repeat that for everybody. Every time I hear it, I'm going to yell at people about it a little bit. Other than that, I thought the introduction was fine. All right, so that's the one criticism about the introduction. On the supporting material, I thought you had good definitions. You had a lot of explanations that you gave us. You're covering so much that it's not always possible to get into as much detail or tell a story as would be useful. When you were talking about the Indian parades, for instance, and all the stuff that the different characters do in the parade, I was really kind of looking forward to hearing an example about how the two tribes or crews would run into each other and how they would signal back and forth and what the songs would be like and some illustration like that. I know you don't have time to do that because you're doing so much else there. So it's just a little bit tough there. I do think that you need to cite your sources in the presentation. I didn't really hear any of that. On the visual materials, I know what Hillary's talking about. It's a little distracting because it's back behind you the whole time. On the other hand, it is interesting. It's very vivid. It's fun. You've got the colors in there, and it definitely has the flavor of Mardi Gras because of the feathers and the images. I could not see the flags that the flag boy's holding, so that didn't work very much for me, so maybe a couple of the images could be larger, but what you did was fine. On the presentation, we're not emphasizing that right now, but we'll want you to be a little bit more relaxed and talk to the audience more. You sound sometimes a little mechanical as you're going through things, and that's sometimes the way the words get written. There was one transition, for instance, that you gave that's a perfect example of a transition that you would give, and the reason it sounds so mechanical is because it's a perfect example of a transition that you would do. It's like, okay, let me go from A to B to B to C. Now, let me point out that I'm going from A to B to B to C, and it just sounds, you got to make it a little bit more your own. So that's like a minor thing, stuff to work on. All right, thank you.